everybody! Welcome back to Weekly Indie Onshots, the show where we take a look at an indie title with an interesting story or gameplay design. This week's selection is Massive Chalice from Double Fine Productions. So, this particular title is classified as a turn-based tactical game similar in the vein of XCom, but with a slight twist. If any of you have ever played Fire Emblem or Harvest Moon, you can have characters marry in this game and thus make your unit stronger by the offspring. So say you have two strong units and you have them marry, they can have a child that is that shares similar traits as well as stronger by the actual marriage. So I ran into this game a while back. I've been following it on early access for a while. I'm a huge fan of XCom in general, and I've always been a huge fan of the Fire Emblem games, though I think the last one I was actually able to fully complete was Shadow Dragon. And I really liked what I saw, and I've been following this on early access pretty closely, and it just came out literally on June 2nd, which would be, as of the release of this video, yesterday. So, let's go ahead and hop into the game, and I'll show you what all is involved. Now, as always, we'll take a look at the options menu first. So, under display, we have your various resolutions, your various window modes. I always use borderless window just because it seems to run better on most games. VSync brightness. Visuals, you have shadows, SSAO, fog of war, which is something that's always in tactical or tactical games such as XCOM or StarCraft. You have your anti-aliasing, your resolution scaling, which we might fiddle with depending on how the actual resolution scales. I don't know why I was thinking UI scaling. Controls, we have the various key bindings. I do believe this also supports controller support as well, due to the fact that it is released on Xbox. Audio, we have your various sliders, music, sound effects, voice. Now, what I like about what they did with the audio is that whenever you adjust, it actually gives you an indication of what the sound is. So, if you notice that, it gives you a little chime with the music and with the voice, which the characters do have voice, so it's pretty good. So whenever you adjust it,
Massive Chalice.
There you go. Now I'm going to turn on subtitles just for the sake of story. That way you get a general idea what's going on. So, as far as the story goes, you are playing basically an omnipotent god, and you're fighting, you're ruling your people, and you're always in constant conflict with this other race of creatures. I can't remember what their name is right now, but we'll run into that during the game. And this game scales over various generations, so depending on what you did in the previous generation, that'll have effects on what's going on in the world during the current generation, after you set up your arranged marriages and they've grown up into adults and all that. So let's go ahead and hop into the game and take a look. Massive Chalice is a difficult game with many new concepts. For your first game, we recommend you play on normal difficulty with the tutorial enabled. Sure, we'll do that. So you have your different bloodlines, heroic bloodline names, and you can have silly names, thematic names, which are your serious names. Or both. We'll do both, just because I like running into silly stuff. We're not going to do Iron Man. Iron Man is basically if you die, your save is gone forever. Or basically if you lose, your save is gone forever, and your choices are permanent. So like you can't, if you make a decision during one generation and that has horrible consequences, you can't just jump back. And balance start, so let's go ahead and start. Random house. So you have different houses for your heroes, and you get to select them at the beginning of the game. Now, they have a lot of crests and houses, and depending on which one you choose, they have different names, different founding members, both male and female. They have a different model, and they have a different battle cry, depending on what they want. So, I haven't really gone over many of these, but I always like the idea of knowledge is power, so... Another random house, and this is going to be your first starting party, so we'll do the pond bigger shark. Okay, I like that one. Embrace the chaos sounds good to me. I don't know what that means. Truth lies in the wilds. I'm a leaf on the wind. That sounds good. Let's go to Z. What is it? What's in Z? Zenith? Strive for tomorrow. There you go. Actually, wait. I messed up. Hold on. I saw a Triforce. Oh yes, we have a Triforce. And let's just choose random crests. Other than the actual bloodlines, I'm not sure how much it actually affects gameplay, like the statistics of your characters. So we'll just do random stuff for now. Alright. Super awesome tutorial time.
It's taking too long.
Patience.
Patience. I don't see what patience has to do with this. It should have happened by now.
Life keeps to its own timetable, not ours.
Oh, it doesn't stop us from trying. Good morning.
Your ruler has risen. Rejoice, and let bellow the horns of birth. Immortal protector of the nation, progeny of the great bloodlines, master of strategies, eternal conductor, and forger of matrimony.
We're here to advise you on how to handle ruling and commanding every time.
The horns of battle.
Fine, we'll have to do this later. The Cadence is attacking. Heroes, jump in! The ruler will be with you shortly!
And off they go.
We'll explain later. We just need you to take command, because our citizens, understandably, find it hard to trust a giant talking chalice.
We are not just a giant talking chalice.
But the nation will listen to you, because you're of their blood.
Forged from the bloodlines of the great houses.
Oh, and one last thing. Unfortunately, the bloodline ritual that was used to create you also bound you to us. So you can never leave the throne.
But do not despair. You can still command your heroes. Look inward, and you will find that your mind can follow them anywhere.
You see your heroes yet? Yeah? Great.
Now, take command and search the area. The Cadence is out there somewhere.
So this is another thing I like about this game is its this particular art style. It's very sharp edges, and if we can zoom in on some of our characters, let's see. Camera around. Ah, there we go. Rotate camera. If you look at some of our characters, they're very hard edges, and I really like the weapon design too. So this is sort of like a crossbow, but it's shoulder mounted, so it's almost more like an arbalist. And I kind of like that very interesting design. But if you notice in that particular little cutscene, I like a game that's aware of how ridiculous some of the actual concepts of the game are. Like the fact that you are basically talking to a giant omnipotent chalice, and it's quite aware of that, and it's pretty funny. So let's see. Zoom the camera in or out using right trigger or scroll. Yeah, I knew that already. Or T. H to recenter the camera. I don't like the fact that it makes you go all the way to the recenters it the way you want, or the way that they want. My bad. Click on a hero sigil or press Z to zoom. So, I do believe that's this character. So his name is Renze Starmie, and his each character will have different traits, and that'll also come into play whenever you marry the various bloodlines together. So his traits are Hawkeye, which has an increased range, Brainy, increased intelligence, and Heart, increased max health. His personality is Avenger, increases damage after the death of an ally. Lone Wolf improves stats when no allies are nearby, so he's kind of your sniper, your lone wolf, as it were. Even though he's technically a melee character. Alert, so I guess he's more of a rogue. He's more of an assassin. Yeah, I like the claws here. Alert, increased evasion against ranged attacks, which is very good because a lot of the enemy units in this game are ranged. The Cadence, as they were called in that particular little cinematic. Status, Prime Age. Now, obviously age affects the various stats in your game, and I do believe you also affect when a generation ends. So you can affect how long a character is going to be on the front lines, and their age is going to affect their overall stat variations. So that's cool. Move the button to the desired location. Sure, I'm actually going to move him here. That way he has cover from anyone who's ranged. And then you can confirm your action. Alternatively, you can use Blit as a shortcut to issue commands. Okay, so basically like select this. But I want to look at her now, so let's go ahead and look at... I think it's a her. Yeah, Jamie. Jamie Tungan, age 35, traits manifold, increased chance of having to have children. Punny, decreased strength. I don't know what being punny has to do with decreasing your strength. Nimble, increased dexterity. Personality, oblivious, decreased intuition. So she's a little bit She's a little bit, you know, not so quick on the uptake as far as situations go. And she is also the alchemist, which is this sort of clawed roguey class, which I think they use bombs too, which is kind of cool. Alright, with you here. Action points. A hero has 2 action points to spend during each turn. You can click the end of turn button, or press N to forfeit all remaining action points for your hero. So very much like XCom, you only have a certain number of action points you can use in a turn before you can pretty much do nothing. I don't know if this automatically rolls over like it does in XCOM, where basically after you use all of your units, it just automatically rolls over to the enemy turn, but we're going to find out. Movement and boundaries, moving heroes. So this is much like XCOM. Anything within the orange border, you can take another action, like if you are wanting to attack an enemy, you can attack them still within the range border, or if they're in the white border, which is basically your sprint border, you can move a longer distance, but you can't take any additional actions after the fact. And I really love that. So many memories of XCOM. I'm going to move him here since he's ranged. Oh, I actually forgot to look at him. Let's look at him right quick. So, Gene Nagel, he's from the House of the Wolf. So increased range, decreased max HP, which for range shouldn't be that huge of a deal. Decreased movement range, which kind of sucks, because with units that have a ranged effect, I like to be able to move around a lot. Personality, Tranquil, which is increased accuracy. He's young, he's only 24. So he has increased dexterity, fertility, decreased intelligence, and intuition. I think that's a little bit of a one-sided thought. Alright, so I want to... there we go. Forgot. Alright, so who is this guy? Zarian Zephyrnius. Female, age 18, asthmatic. Asthmatic. Wow. Movement is reduced after sprinting in a previous turn. I don't know why that word was so hard for me to understand. Child tendency. Daughters increased chance of having girls. Personality, insightful, so increased intuition. So, the girl with intuition. That's adorable. She's also cocky. Lowered evasion when at max health. Status, young age, so same as the last guy. Now, this is something I do like as well, is the fact that it also tells you about the number of siblings and who they are for the particular hero, and you can actually look at the details for that other hero, which is really nice. And like her sibling has stalwart as opposed to her trait or her personality quirk, and it gives them a defensive bonus and increased armor. And this is a melee character, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Saberjack. I guess that's how it's pronounced. But I'm going to move him or her forward because she's going to be in melee combat. And our last character for the particular playthrough, Lilith Eclipse, Hunter. Level 1, age 22, nearsighted, which really kind of sucks for a ranged character. Quick, increased movement speed. Personality, flincher, reduced evasion against melee attacks, which hopefully she won't be in melee that long. She also has the young age perk. And she also has a sibling in Emma Eclipse, who has directness personality trait. The hero's careless manner decreases armor effectiveness, which isn't too bad. but she's older than her sister at 37. And we will move you here. Alright, now it's the enemy's turn. Hero selection. You can move your heroes in any order you like. Select a hero. Yep, so much like XCom, and you can tab through them to do so. Alright. Since we didn't run into any enemies, they haven't been flagged yet, we can move again. Now, I wish I could actually see a little bit more of the map. I mean, I could always just fiddle around and see where the Fog of War ends. I like more of a strategic view being available too, even if it's still Fog of War. So we're going to move everyone through this left portion over here, so I'm going to move her up to right about here. See if we spot any enemies. Move this one. I don't know if I want to move her that far out. We'll move her here. Or I think it's her. No, that's a male. That's a dude. Oh. It's right here, so right here. Rinzé. Rinzé Starmie. That's right. Because Pokemon. Why not? Move this one here. Uh-oh. We flagged an enemy.
There we are.
First catch of the day.
We can't tell you much about the cadence because not much is known. It's old, first sighted centuries ago. It cares only for destroying our nation with its corruption.
That's where pawns like you see here come in. Think of them as attack dogs the cadence creates to spread corruption in the world.
So this is the most basic enemy unit. Now, I do believe the flask is an explosive. Let's see. Advance your heroes until you're in range, and then... Okay, yeah, right click addition attack. So none of our units back here can move anymore, so we're going to... Now, I can't attack if I move over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see... Yeah, explosive flask. So it has a 40% chance of missing, even though it's still within the boundary. It does 11 to 13 damage, but we're going to do it anyway, just so I can show you what the flask toss looks like. Confirm. And it missed. But that's what flask toss looks like. Attacking. Your hero has... Hero's chance to hit is shown next to him. Yep, we could have figured that out on our own. Range attacks can miss their target. Completely melee attacks will never miss, but can sometimes glance for greatly reduced damage. So basically, it's like armor, all in all. I want to switch to this one, move this one here, and can I take an attack of opportunity? 67% chance to attack, so let's go ahead and take that. And we got him.
How about that, eh?
One down, untold millions to go.
I like the fact that I like the fact that the omnipotent god Chalice has a sense of humor. But yeah, I completely forgot about that. Is you are not the god Chalice, but you are definitely a unique character in this universe where you are born of various houses, but you are also
Lapses.
Cadence cowards. They'd rather stay back and snipe at you than fight up close.
Be wary. Your heroes are hit, they may forget some of their combat training. The mind is just as vulnerable as the body.
You are a unique character, which gives you the ability to actually control these particular bloodline characters. But you are also bound to the Chalice. Alright, so I want to melee this one. So... Ow! Oh, glancing blow. Boo. Alright, well, let's move in for another melee attack then. And I do believe flanking has a chance to do increased damage, so... Attack. Yep, 12 damage is definitely more than one. Now, much like XCOM, whenever you do make certain actions like defeating an enemy, your characters will say their family motto. So that one said its motto right there. Okay, so I don't know where the Lapsy is, so I'm going to move this character here. And the lapses can be pretty dangerous, especially in the early game, because they are the first range unit you run into, and while you're moving around, depending on how the terrain is set up, it can be quite treacherous. That is one issue I have with the game, is like, you would think you'd be able to move somewhere like here just because it was still within the range of the white. But since this game doesn't use traditional hexes, it uses this different system. Like, I can move here, but I couldn't move here for whatever reason. And it was still within the white. It doesn't use traditional hexes, so it's kind of hard to tell where you can and cannot move. I'm going to move you. Ooh, that might be dangerous, because I don't know what's over here. I'll move here and get a little bit of the fog of war out of the way. And then, let's see what stealth move is. Sneak to a tall environmental object, blend in. Okay. I like that. Can I can do it here. And that stealths that character. I like that. See, learning things all the time. So, let's move our melee character. What does knockback do? Low damage attack that... Okay, knockback with stunts. That's pretty fun. So basically this is like a... sort of like a jackhammer melee weapon. It kind of reminds me of the in design to the javelins from Valkyria Chronicles.
Seeds. Arguably the lowliest pawns are more nuisance than menace.
But if you're going to remember one thing, don't let those runts form a posse. Keep them apart.
Otherwise it'll be like when caberjacks get together at a tavern.
Except not the best night of your life.
Cinder attack that fires a second shot for 50% damage if the first shot hits. Oh, I like that. Follow up. I can't really do anything right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stealth move here. And set up for when those seeds come in. There are plenty of seeds, apparently. Move you here to set up for an ongoing attack. And move here. No. I guess here for the time being. Confirm. Oof, 3 damage.
That could have been worse. At least they belong to heroic bloodlines.
Oh yes, we forgot to mention. Normal humans cannot survive even a single touch from the kings, but because the bloodlines of your heroes are attuned to us and have our power flowing through them, they have a fighting chance.
So this is pretty cool, and it's unique to the Alchemist. It's basically a free action you can use on enemies. So I can go ahead and throw this flask, and it doesn't cost anything. And it does a pretty significant amount of damage, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Actually, what I want to do so I can get rid of that lapsy is I'm going to shoot this one. Oh.
I get way too excited about this.
Yep, we already know about hero actions. Move him or her here. Oh, another enemy. And attack that target. Now, I'm not sure how many classes there are in the game, but I'm guessing it's more than just the current stock 3 that we have in this particular one. Hero range, throw flask. Your hero will be able to see enemies from the tile. Okay.
Ah, you found one of our alchemists. Brilliant mind in a delicate body.
Not worth much in a close quarters battle, but they make up for it with their nasty exploding flasks.
Just watch out for friendly fire.
The explosions are big, so aim well, or keep your heroes back. Trust us, you don't want to be on the receiving end of one of their concoctions.
So I'm going to use another free action. And I missed, but I still get to do the default action, which is good, which is very good. That was an unfortunate. I want to actually use
you have the hunters. A Attacking at close range is good, but attacking from afar, where one can think and plan, is better.
If you listen closely, you might be able to hear your group leaving you behind as you line up that perfect shot.
Actually, the hunter will be in front of the group, stealthily scouting ahead.
Is that what they say they're doing?
I'm actually going to move the alchemist here. Actually, this alchemist had a lot of health, so... still a low percentage chance, but it's... I should probably... 14 damage. Jesus. So that thing has 2 health left. Ooh. So I better take that one out the next turn. And that one actually does decrease, looks like it takes away your experience whenever it attacks. Forgot how wide a range those things have. Thankfully that was a glancing blow. Can I... Ooh, I can. Let's see what happens.
See the way that one went down?
Double kill. Awesome. Alright, so now I can go ahead and switch to him. And there we go. For family.
That went better than I expected.
Well done, well done. I knew you'd have a knack for this.
Now here is our post-mission briefing screen. We have our different kills for our units, the experience gain. Now, I do believe it was this unit right here did have some of its experience knocked away by the labs, which that's a shitty ability for that unit to have, but I guess it's the whole reason you don't want to get hit by it. But yeah, everyone got some experience. No one leveled up. I'm not exactly sure what the star means. Oh, it unlocked an ability, it looks like. Okay. Yeah, we'll unlock free throw then. Yep, that's what it was. He unlocked his talent point, which lets him get a new ability. And since he was only level 1 at the start, he got one new ability, which was free throw, which is still very good.
Right. So this is our nation, and as we said, we are not in the best of shape.
That muck you see surrounding us is the cadence. It's what created the pawns, corrupted our lands, and is slowly tightening on us like a noose. But we do have one advantage.
Thanks to several enchanted materials that make up our body, we've been endowed with certain powers. One of them being a way to cleanse the cadence from this world. It's really quite a miraculous process, wherein we harness the properties of...
The thing is, it takes a long time for us to charge up for this. A long time. All of the heroes you just commanded in battle will be long gone when we're finally ready.
With all that time still ahead, we need you to protect us. You will take charge of the nation, command its citizens worthy of becoming heroes, and ensure that the cadence does not reach the capital.
Now let's check out that keep you just saved.
Alright.
The keeps. Bloodline forgers of the nation.
The stonemasons did good work here. I'll thank them later.
Here, we will appoint one hero as a regent, and one as a partner. And the more experience they have, the more they'll pass on to their children.
That goes for traits and personalities, too. Everything's game.
And keep in mind, assigning heroes to keeps retires them from combat. You can't have one foot at home and one in the battlefield.
Now, like the giant talking cup said, whoever you choose to be regent of the castle and therefore become a couple is retired. So you want to look at various things whenever you do this. Obviously, the age of the character. So if they're above a certain age, which sadly, if they're above age 30, for some reason, characters above age 30 can have a chance to be infertile, which doesn't really make sense in a real world scenario. But it's game design, so whatever. But you also can have the chance of certain characters above that age being with high fertility. So I think it's completely random at this point. But like they said, like the giant talking cup said, you want to choose characters with more experience that they have, the more they pass on. And that's basically how the game progresses. So we're going to choose Minia as our regent. And these are going to be all the stats that are going to go into the calculation. So she's going to be our regent for this particular keep, since she has the most health. She's a
Now
cyberjet.
that your regent is appointed, it's time to decide on a partner.
Although this isn't an arrangement out of love, who knows? Maybe it'll turn into that.
We've seen it happen.
Personality, traits, experience, they're all important here.
But just because this is an arrangement of necessity doesn't mean you should reduce these heroes to a pile of numbers, either. They deserve better than that.
Alright, so these are the characters we have that can go in this particular marriage. And what's cool is that depending on what the combination of characters are, they'll unlock, it looks like, a new variation of a class. So this one's a Shadowjack. Since this character's a hunter and this one is a Cavaljack, they'll make a Shadowjack, which I'm guessing is more of a stealth melee character. So let's go ahead and do that, because that sounds like an awesome character class. So these will be the abilities that will be passed on, and they have a high chance of a child. So let's go ahead and confirm. Are you sure you wish to marry Minia Zephys, Zephyrnus, and Howard Lovecraft? Wow, I didn't even catch the name. That's awesome. This choice is final and cannot be reverted. Chances of children high. Training class Shadowjack.
Many
Yes.
happy returns.
Let's give the newlyweds some privacy, eh?
Alright. So, yeah. I guess that's about it. There are no heroes left in the man. There are no heroes left in man. Oh, okay. I see what they're going for there. Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on.
It's a lot to take in, but you'll handle it, or your mind will become as cracked as our body.
You'll be fine. Now then, please join us back at the capital so we can show you some of your other responsibilities.
God, I love that Chalice's dialogue. That's just, like, good dialogue can really make a game or break it. Especially if you decide to add dialogue. Like, I think that's one of the main reasons I like games like Star Wars The Old Republic, is it was a very good game, and the storytelling was great, but obviously the dialogue is what really, made it for me.
And welcome back.
Yes, Talking Chalice.
You are here, right? It's a little hard to
maybe.
tell if you're still in your mind's eye or whatever.
This is where your heroes return to after battle. From here, you may equip them with any skills or weapons they may have earned, as well as perform research.
Basically, we can devote some of our power to help the war effort and the nation. Whether it's building new keeps, starting a Sage Rights Guild, or a Standards Crucible. Fun stuff.
I like her. She's nice. Research.
Building more keeps is likely the most pressing option, as you'll be able to foster more bloodlines, but don't shun the other possibilities. With your approval, we can research weapons, potions, armor. If the amount of time required dissuades you from researching something, consider the Sage Rights Guild. Any hero who joins the Sage Rights will hasten the time required for any pursuit. They will never see combat again.
Keep in mind, most of our power is focused on charging up to cleanse the cadence, so we can only devote enough energy to research one thing at a time. That includes searching for new heroes. It takes a lot of effort to find people attuned with us, and it'll only get harder the more we do it. But choose whatever you want.
So this is much like the research lab on XCom, but with a twist. Once you choose, if I chose the Sage Right, I would have to select characters once again who would never be able to fight after the fact to research particular things, which kind of sucks. But for this particular one, I'm going to build the keep. That way I can foster more bloodlines. And let's see, select a region to begin construction of a building. Outer regions are the first to be attacked and corrupted by the cadence, but they offer significant strategic tactical bonuses when you build there. So this is our area of influence right now, and the cadence, which I do believe is this gooey outer stuff. I'm gonna build closer to home, just because I think it's easier to fortify an area closer to home than it is an outer region. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, one more thing. The end of this war is not even a glimpse on our horizon yet, but your immortality gives us an advantage. The ability to step back and let time pass.
You can start and stop this timeline at will, but we'll also stop it for you should something require your attention.
Like a cadence attack.
That is a probable possibility.
So also like XCOM, you have a progression of time, and certain events will happen in that time. So we'll go ahead and do this. And this is years passing by over time. Babies! Heroic children known as trainees are bound to the keep. They are birthed
The
in...
horns of birth. A cause for celebration indeed.
Babies have been born before today.
And it was glorious every time, was it not?
What, unbearable shrieking and smells that are even worse? That's your idea of glorious.
Yes.
Like I said, dialogue. For some reason, her voice reminds me of Cortana's, and that might actually be the voice actor for Cortana. I'll have to look into that, though. The trainee is trained by the regent partner. They keep in the keep until they are 15, at which point they are transferred to the capital for active duty. Aww. So, Arvesh Zephyrnus is a male, age 0. Quick study, so gains experience quicker, which is great. And doesn't have any personality traits yet because it's so young. It's so young. It's a child. But aww, so adorable. All right. And with that, I do believe I'm going to call that the video. So this has been Massive Chalice by Double Fine Productions. It is currently available on Steam for $15.99, and that is the sale price. The regular price is $19.99. It is also available on the bundle, the Humble Bundle store for the same prices. So I like this game, I really do. It's a nice turn-based tactical game, much in the vein of XCOM, but with these nice little quirks where, as opposed to just recruiting soldiers like you did in XCOM, you actually have a more decision-oriented experience where you have these heroes, they have certain traits and certain bonuses and drawbacks, and you can marry them together and make stronger characters, and it's completely up to you, the player. The dialogue is great. The music is actually pretty good. I actually like the music as well. So yeah, this has been Massive Chalice. If you want to see more games like this, make sure to like and comment in the comment section below. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe so that you see whenever new videos come out. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye! Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you like this content, please make sure to like this video and maybe even share it with your friends. If you want to see more of this, make sure to subscribe or follow me on social media since YouTube sub boxes tend to lag behind. And as always, I will see you in the next video.